Do I look there and speak? Do I look at? Yeah, that's fine.
So, answers should be, yeah, please paragraphs. Paragraphs are absolutely fine.
You will edit at some point of time where they're inappropriate.
See, exactly, you know that also. We can edit. I would rather use this moment, use this time to get as much knowledge as I can. Right? So, I would really appreciate that. As much you can tell. Because also that different generation also means you see things so much more differently than us. And that position is very important to us. So, should we start? Yes. Okay. So we want to know about how do you see ODR placed in the systems as an unjudicial system? What is your sense of it? General understanding. How do you see things happening?
Extraordinary. From the way we can integrate ODR into the court annexed mediation, what we have, or even if you're talking about arbitration of what ODR does to connect people from various places. You simply break barriers when you say ODR in so many ways, and geographical distances, or the comfort of staying in one's own place and then speaking, not with the shoulders up like that and relaxed. So ODR gives a kind of a intimacy which is rather strange, it may sound, where they're not there in the room, but they are there in the same place. Or persons who would come to blows if they are there in physical presence, but who I've seen through this virtual platform, how they are able to see each other, tolerate each other, and then carry difficult conversations. So I think ODR has opened up wholly a new understanding to how disputes can be settled, and how persons who are seriously at loggerheads can still find reasonable comfort in where they are, and then find methods of conversations and carry on conversations much more comfortably. That's what I think is very important in any conflict resolution model, where they seek comfort, they find it's all a safe environment to work with.
So what do you might think must be some things that might the judiciary feel hesitant, or the legal community feel hesitant about integrating ODR?
I'm not too sure whether the legal community is in any way reluctant. I think it has allowed them the benefit of working beyond even the normal working hours. It's never uncommon in my practice of what I do, that connect with parties and then have mediation talk late in the evenings after the court hours. If you are talking about legal professionals joining conversations, if you say it's a physical presence, they keep worrying themselves about how it is going to conflict with their court time and things. Here they're able to expand that working hours to suit what is convenient. And when you are having inter-country disputes where persons from different geographical areas are there, there is nothing like ODR platform. And these days it's a lot of work. The Indian diaspora in literally every part of the world, and matrimonial disputes, property disputes, succession cases, all those cases are so ideally suited for ODR as a platform for work. So I see that regularly in my practice and how it has empowered people. So I'm not too sure about any reluctance of any class of people from joining. But there are those naysayers at all times who would think personal presence is so important because that's when the emotions get played out. You distance people from that environment. You don't really see how the emotions are playing out. In a commercial litigation, there's hardly any emotion left. So therefore, it's all fine. Even in matrimonial matters, like I said, it's safety of environment is essential. And when we are talking about domestic violence, is something it's difficult to place them in the same room. You are better off. The parties recognize that place is better off through a ODR platform. I'm sure of those persons who seemingly are reluctant, they're not too comfortable about the use of technology. It's just a matter of time. Now everyone has a cell phone, everyone can do things. So why is it not possible to sit before your laptop? So it's like that. So I'm sure there'll be more and more acceptability if we ever find a reluctance now.
Absolutely. Do you think, sir, what would you suggest to people building ODR platforms, ODR solutions? Some things to keep in mind in terms of processes?
Yeah, the most important thing is that if it's arbitration, I ensure if there is evidence, I ensure that there is a sanctity to evidence, that there is no prodding or somebody to have any kind of information fed or anything, where you want to keep a person isolated from any external influences. You should be careful about that. And again, to ask the person in terms of the process, they understand what is happening. Do they feel comfortable? Is the person speaking to a camera is therefore something very different? Is not seeing the person, he is a little more self-conscious. Are these areas matters of concern? You should therefore make them feel comfortable. Just don't begin your process immediately. Tell them what you're going to do. Run through a kind of some kind of a pilot with them, see whether they're comfortable, that they're able to speak with no inhibitions. So communication is the most important thing when we are talking about conflict, right? So therefore that should happen naturally. That I would surely want to see. And again, ensure that you provide what they don't have. Ensure that the person is matched in every sense with the other person who is in conflict. So of keeping a good place, a safe place, then keep internet connectivity. How good is that? Where internet connectivity is low, where the bandwidth is low, the video, when you're shutting it off, the person is informed that the video will not play. So that sometimes you find some person on video, another person not. All these are seen as distinctions, and therefore somebody will say, you are showing me on video, you are not showing that person on video. These are things which I find that equal treatment requires equality in every sense. If it's audio, audio for both. If it's video and audio, then you'll have to probably explain whether it could be done like that. So that will be again another thing which I would mind as a process. And say that this is to improve things. This is the technology has come to improve communications. So give them a sense of belonging and a comfort in what we are trying to do. And instead of telling them this is wholly new, do that. So I suppose all these things give them a comfort. That's what I think. Anyone who does the job must know that it gives that comfort to the persons or participants. That's how.
I think that's very insightful. It's very structured, and these are things, especially the thing that you said about distinction, is something I think we don't see it like that. We see the difference, but we don't realize that it's being perceived as a distinction and as bias. So
Right.
definitely. So, what's one thing that you're curious about learning, or something that you came across at the forum that really changed the way you think, or is a question you're going back with?
Yeah, this is the use of artificial intelligence and its application in various conflict resolution systems. I was involved in the Artificial Intelligence Committee appointed by the Supreme Court. My disappointment was that after having worked out on some modules on certain types of litigations, they have not taken off at all. Where did we miss out? Why did it not get incorporated into courts? It's as simple a thing as translation in 9 languages, of what Nandan Nilekani spoke about, of what artificial intelligence has made possible now. Seamless translation of what should happen. Many courts don't know that it is still there. That we have worked it, it's available there in one place. How come it has not disseminated? Why has it not come down to other levels? Now, what is the new learning? Now, from what I have seen in the morning today to what was yesterday, what are all the things which AI can do? What are all those problem identification, the use of AI in multiple situations, of voice recognition. And again, we learned this morning of bringing evidence with this, which is authentic, and trying to secure some sure information. Don't look for a proof elsewhere. It should happen there and then. And if technology can help, we should ensure that it is done. So I think these are things. Application of AI, I'm sure it offers enormous potential for seeing the problems of what we encounter, that they're surely scaled. It's not for us to believe that we are ceding something to technology, that I'm not there, I'm leaving it to machines. It's not like that. How do you empower yourself to perform better is how anyone should see these new technologies. That I'm sure is likely to happen now.
Wonderful. So last question. What is one thing you would like people who are new in the ODR space to know? One takeaway, one learning that you would like to give?
That there is so much that the technology has to offer. Don't feel overwhelmed by this technology. It's there for you to simply embrace it. You'll be powerful, you'll emerge powerful, you'll emerge successful, you'll make a lot of difference to the persons who you want to work with, whose disputes you want to settle.